Howdy folks, it's me again, Matt, Shady Grove Ranch, Jefferson, Texas. What do we have here? Glad you asked. We have a brooder house where the chickies need to be deployed to pasture, and we're going to show you how we do this here. So one thing that we have in our brooder house, which you may or may not, will you please turn around, may or may not know, is we have these pieces of plywood that we cut down to between 24 and 18 inches tall, and we hinge them together, take a chainsaw or hole saw with a circular saw and jigsaw, whatever it is, and cut some handles. Now these are 8 feet long. I don't like those nearly as much as the 4-footers, which are right there. However, the 4-footers that are shown right there, I cut at 18 inches, which probably was a little bit too short, as you can see from the chicken sitting on top. And actually, these birds are so healthy that they are very easily jumping on top of the 24-inch sections. So anyway, that's one way to know your air quality is good enough. There you go. So, but what we really need is some grass and some pasture and some bug life. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and move them in here. We got our little scare flag, which is a piece of PVC about 3 feet long or even less, and some sort of noisy flappy tarp duct tape to the end. There you go. That's all you need. You want it to be flappy, flappy wappy. So we're scaring them up here, and it works a lot better with 2 hands, but I don't have 2 hands because I am carrying you around. And if there's anything harder than carrying hundreds of people around when trying to scare thousands of chicks, I don't know about it. Alright, so we take these political signs here, which we cut down. They work really good as little dividers here, and they kind of get a natural curve in them over time, and they even stand up all by themselves. So there you go. Alright, I'm going to pause it just for a moment, and then we're going to show you how we get them into the cattle trailer. Alright, we're back. And this is a real farming video, so yeah, I'm not cutting anything out that PETA might not like. But we do not abuse our animals, but sometimes we require them to work, just like we require our humans to work. How nice is that? So anyway, I've got them all nice and corralled right here, getting into the trailer. I've got a fancy little ramp right there to get them in, and I'm going to give them a little pressure. We're going to give them a little scare up there in the front. Come on, you in the front. Time to move. Here we go. Thank you. All right, and then we just take our signs here and jiggle them up. Be careful not to pinch toes, etc., etc. Look how fun this is. Don't you want to be a farmer? Now, if your birdies don't want to walk in the trailer in this particular method, it's probably because they're not healthy enough. And there's lots of things that can go wrong in a brooder house, but the number one is air quality, unless you just like don't water them or something like that. Most people, blame unthrifty chickens or the lack of the ability to walk very well, or the lack of desire to move quickly in a high-stress situation. They'll be like, oh, they're unhealthy. It must be the hatchery's fault, or my feed must be bad. Well, in my experience, number one reason is your air quality. So if you can walk in a brooder house and smell a whole bunch of nitrogen, if it just doesn't smell nice, if it's too dusty, and there's dust. There's dust that accumulates. We're at the end of our season, so we're going to do a clean out here soon. We've raised at least 30,000, more than that, chicks in here this year in batches. They come, we clean out. But anyway, your air quality is number one. So you need a big old fan, at least one, and that helps with a lot, but you also need a very good carbonaceous medium. We use rice hulls. This is the best, in my opinion. Peat moss might be better, but it also costs about 5,000 times as much. So you can use a lot more rice hulls and get her done. So there you go. Alright, so we're continuing to scare chickies onto the trailer. Oh, sorry, you don't want to look at me. Scare chickies onto the trailer, little at a time. We're putting a little bit of stress on them because they have to be scared. But we're not overstressing them, okay? You need to watch out for piling here. Piling will kill chickens very quickly. I could really use 2 hands for this procedure, but well, and we just kind of jiggle them around. Now these are broilers. These are a meat chicken, so that's why they're not flying all out of our catch mechanism right now. If we had like laying hens, we would have to have real walls like all the way up, or else they'd be flying out everywhere. They'd be flying through our gap right here. If we didn't have fins on that fan, they'd be jumping into the fan. So anyway, this process works different with laying hens. All right, give me just a second. I'm going to use 2 hands and come back with you in a second. All right, got them all moved up here. Use my political sign to get them just kind of held in there momentarily. Here's our ramp. This is a pretty cool little thingy-mabobber. It just slides in and out of the back of the trailer, and it's just about the width. Sorry, I'm moving stuff here. It's just about the width of the cattle trailer itself. Excuse me there, buddy. You're in the wrong place. Oh, come here. There we go. And then we have these little 2x4 blockers that hang right here and keep them from leaking out. So this is very important here. We got a board that has these little hooks on it, and it is just exactly the right width to like completely plug up the gap in between that cattle trailer. The reason we don't make the ramp the full width is because it wouldn't fit through the doors, because the doors stick out a little bit. So anyway, there we go. And we slide this guy up so it doesn't fall out while we're driving. I'm gonna take my chickies and put them on this side. Alright, and so our floor right here, I recently changed this out to this rubber flooring from Tractor Supply. It's not super cheap, it's not super expensive either. I think I got a 32-foot trailer, and these come in 6-foot widths. No, 4-foot widths. So I had to buy 8 of them. I forget how much they were, 50 bucks maybe? So $300 roughly, maybe a little more investment there. It's worth it. Alright, give me just a minute. And I'm going to put my flag here to scare them out of the building when we get, or out of the trailer when we get there. And stay tuned. So like literally, like I just loaded 600 chickens probably in, I don't know, 10 minutes, something like that. Fancy tractor hitch with, I mean, this is a hay unroller, but we don't really need that. But I do have a gooseneck ball hitch welded onto here. That is not my welding job, just so everybody knows, okay? Get what you pay for sometimes. All right, hold tight. Okay, I just pulled the trailer forward about 20 feet. Here's a helpful little hint that you'll want to know. They've never been in a trailer before. There's a big noisy tractor up there at the front. So like they're going to tend to come to the back, and you know, if the circumstances are just wrong enough, they'll pile back here. So I'm just going to take this opportunity to give them a little bit of a flag scare. Perfect. Try to move them forward. They never pile in the front. Alright, so they always tend to pile in the back, so go ahead and give them a little scare. And then we're going to take a drive. Now we're going to drive pretty quick, because the quicker you drive, well, not the quicker, if you drive quick enough, it kind of makes it a little bit unstable in there, and they're going to tend to not want to walk around very much. So I'm going to put this in high 1. And go ahead and take on off here. Here we go. We're booking. Put on the afterburners. All right, I'll see you at the coop. Here we are, heading through the pasture, going to the super coop. There's a farm teenager in his natural habitat. Quick pit stop because they are starting to pile, as you can see. So we're going to take our little flag here and give them a scare. All right, hurrah! Come on, you can do it. No more piling, please. I think they're on a intercontinental airline flight getting all restless. There's no bathrooms on this flight, all right? Just sit down and shut up. One of the nice things about doing this with a tractor is you have a 3-point hitch you can raise and lower. So I raised this trailer all the way up. Look at that. Huge core raisage, which puts the back end nice and low. And then we can push our ramp out, and it is at the perfect level for the chickies. For the chickies to enjoy their new pasture. Okay, so we take that out of the way. We take our little fly. This is so much easier with 2 hands. Okay. Just wasted a good 30 seconds on video there. Sorry about that. Alright. So what we're going to do is stuff our stuff up here. I installed a little man door up here, which helps a lot when you're working pigs or cows or anything like that. Oh my goodness, I'm climbing up one-handed. Alright, here we go. One time I forgot to close this door and I had a pig jump out after I loaded. Didn't realize till I got to the butcher. I was like, I've got 7 pigs. And they're all like, no you don't. You've only got 6. What? Where did I lose it? And I lost it out the side door. It was on farm. Like, I did shut the door before I left the farm. Before I even left the pig paddock where I caught them. Let's see how this works. Fancy dancy. Here we are at the super coop. The chickies are going to learn grass and bugs and electric fence and everything else all in one day. How nice. Excuse me, babies. I need you to move forward. Thank you. Alright. The next step I really hope to achieve one of these days is figuring out how to brood on pasture. So I don't have to do this step. But even still, we are pretty efficient at it. We'll do about 3,000 chicks move out of the brooder house in not long, a couple hours probably. So it takes me, I try not to crowd them too much in the trailer. That actually was a little bit of a heavy load right there. Excuse me, bird. Come on out, if you please. Yes, thank you. They cooperate better if you use a fake British accent. Thank you, sir. Alright, so there they go. So they get to have some pasture-raised chicken paradise. That's all I've